All right, it's game number 53 for the Boston Celtics. We got a second consecutive home game at TD Garden, this time against the Atlanta Hawks. Welcome into the Celtics pregame report for CLNS Media. I'm your host, Josue Pavone, and I'm joined by the godfather of the network, Nick Gelso's here. What's up, Nick? What's going on?
What's up, Josue?
You're so excited for this game, huh? I could tell.
Super Bowl weekend, right? The horrid Atlanta Hawks. Is Kyrie going to play? You know, I mean, if you think about it, last year at this time, Super Bowl weekend, we were getting ready for Paul Pierce's last appearance as a player at TD Garden. If you remember, that was Super Bowl Sunday.
It was, yeah, and you know we're not too far away from the big day of seeing his number get retired. So that's coming up soon. But all right, you know what? Let's put that to the side for a second. You know, let's not get into the Hawks talk right away. Let's get into the juicy stuff, like the mess that's going on in Cleveland. How about that? What the hell is going on with the Cavs? Jeez Louise. Like, it's getting worse by the day, Nick. I mean, as if the news of Kevin Love wasn't enough for 1 week. Now LeBron James is considering a meeting with the Golden State Warriors. What's your take on this, man? I know this is going to be a good one because you love talking Cavs.
Yeah, man. I mean, I could. He has a no trade clause, right? But if I'm Dan Gilbert at this point, I say get with LeBron and say, where do you want to go? Let's work this out and get something in return for the guy. I mean, that's really, honestly, the way I go with it. I mean, because he's taking meetings, dude. He's going to watch. First of all, is that even legal for him to be taking meetings?
Well, I'm thinking this is going to be obviously during the summer. It's not going to be, you know, next week. And I'm calling BS on this whole story anyways. But my biggest question I should ask you is, how can something like this even come up on the first week of February? I mean, it's so early to even have these kind of conversations. And two, what would this, in this hypothetical situation, what would this do to LeBron James's legacy if he ever pulled off such a move?
God, I thought when he left Cleveland the first time and he did that silly decision and all of that, I thought to myself, this guy just destroyed himself. And like he's Teflon. I think about six to 8 months, he had one season where he tried to play the villain. It didn't work. And then he was right back to being LeBron. I can't tell you what it's going to do for his legacy. But if the Cavs don't work with LeBron here, I don't even know. I don't understand how he could destroy them twice, and they can let themselves be destroyed twice. The guy wants to go.
Well, a lot of people would say he did what he was supposed to do. He got them a title, but I mean, if you ask me, I think
he did, and maybe that's all the more why, if you're Dan Gilbert, you say, LeBron, let's get the list together, work with this year. We'll trade you this year. And then you just do, and you know, the team obviously is going to take a risk that he's going to leave, but he agrees like KG did, and you'd be done with them, right? Am I out of whack here? Am I crazy? I know he has to agree to the trade. So you say, LeBron, work with us. We'll deal with the teams, because anyone will take them. So we'll deal with the teams that you want to go to. I don't know why that's so outlandish.
I just think it's a terrible PR stunt. I mean, that fan base would be devastated. I think that's where it really boils down to. And at the end of the day, I think these guys still think that they can somehow put a team together to knock off the Warriors. I think they truly believe that.
What would be worse for the fan base? Him doing the exact same thing he did when they were burning his jerseys and ripping the poster down, or the wall down in Cleveland?
But see, that's the thing. I think the franchise rather see that than to see their fan base turn on them, saying, what the heck were you thinking in trading LeBron James?
No, but I mean, I don't understand why all the parties can't just be honest in it. You know, LeBron, I care about the city of Cleveland, but I'm ready to move on. So we're working together to find a good team that will deal from that. I'll accept the no trade clause with. Why does he have to screw them? I don't understand. I mean, maybe there's a legality in the league rules where they can't collude like that. I don't know, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to.
It's because he can't look like the bad guy, Nick. That's the thing. Nick's got to. I mean, excuse me, Nick. LeBron's got to protect his brand. He's got to look like the good guy who, hey, I tried, guys. You know, you guys are the one that traded Kyrie. I didn't want Kyrie to leave. That's been the narrative the last couple of weeks now. This story that all of a sudden broke, where they said, oh, LeBron never wanted to trade Kyrie. It was the organization.
LeBron tried to. I think Kyrie put that to bed early in a very Kyrie way without saying it.
Yeah, he did.
You know, it was a combination of all of them. But I don't think LeBron looks quite. I think LeBron looks worse if he walks at the end of the season. So if LeBron really cares about the city of Cleveland, state of Ohio, and everything as much as he said he did, says he does, and Dan Gilbert isn't crazy, get together and say, man, let's work together to get you where you want to go and get us some assets back. So that way they don't have another 5 years of hell.
All right, let's get into some Celtics talk. I mean, this is the pregame report,
Wait a minute, before you do, I'll give you a little segue here. No one looks better in all this than who? Kyrie effing Irving. He comes out looking. When this happened in the summer, he kind of scratched their head and said, "What's going on here?" We already knew he was kind of a little eccentric, but no one saw that coming, and he was kind of like the bad guy. Well, now all of a sudden, Kyrie looks like the polished leader of a former champion, polished leader of a storied franchise, while LeBron has the walls crashing down around him. Don't forget, in Miami, he had a tough time without Wade being the leader of that team.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, Wade had to step aside and give him the team. Remember, this is your team now.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter was Wade was always the leader of that. And look who's back with him right now, Wade. So I mean, I'm not digging on LeBron. I'm saying, look, dude, I don't think it's so bad to say, I'll waive my no trade clause if you trade me to the team I want to go to. He's already called the shots there anyway.
Sure. He could trade himself.
Kyrie Irving comes out looking like gold.
Yeah, he does. That's true. No arguing here on that take. That's true. Well, some guy from the Celtics could be traded, and I don't know why I get this feeling. Maybe you share the same sentiment, but I just feel like this whole Marcus Smart situation, it may be the beginning of the end for his days in Boston. I think his days may be numbered, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think, I do. I mean, you heard Brad last night. I mean, or pregame, he pretty much made it. Without saying it, he made it clear that Danny's probably going to have some kind of repercussion for whatever happened. And, I think it's a sad thing because Marcus he's a hard-working guy, right? And it just can't get the offense. The maturity's now starting to show. He must, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think this team has proven time and time again that they can be successful without him, which isn't good for Marcus Smart's case. We always waited for him to sort of make that leap offensively. Defensively, he's been consistent this year. He's had some good games on the offensive end, which of course have translated into wins. But I mean, if you're expendable, if you're a guy that this team can get rid of and still be successful, and you're coming on a contract season, or you're on a contract season, and free agency is just around the corner, and there's a deal on the table that Danny Ainge really likes, I mean, he's gonna pull the trigger. I mean, well, why wouldn't he? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not saying I want to see the guy gone.
No, I agree with you.
I'm not saying I want to see him gone, but I think that the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think if anything, if he doesn't trade, if he's not part of it, see, the problem is his value is so low now. But if he's not part of a trade,
that's true.
Danny's going to get him so on the cheap. I mean, he's coming off the rookie deal. I mean, he's going to want decent money. His agent already said so much, but to me, it's a win-win for the Celtics. I hate to see Marcus go, but if he goes, he's going to be part of a package that brings somebody bigger to Boston. And if he stays, Danny's probably going to he'll match any offer if the offers are low because his value is diminished.
This edition of the Celtics pregame report is being brought to you by DraftKings.com. Head over to DraftKings.com and use the promo code CLNS for a free sign-up with your first deposit and a shot at a share of $10,000 in total prizes. That's DraftKings.com. Use the promo code CLNS and get paid. All right, well, here's some Hawks news for you, Nick. For the people who think the Celtics are the one franchise that gets way too out of hand when it comes to these video tributes, think again. The Atlanta Hawks the other night gave a tribute video for Dwight Howard, the guy who played one season in Atlanta, and then the Hawks traded him. How weird is that?
Did Al get a tribute video?
He did, yeah. Of course he did. But that makes more sense than Dwight Howard.
I don't remember it. I mean, I didn't know that there's anyone other than Celtics fans usually in the arena at, what is it, Phillips Arena in Atlanta?
Phillips Arena, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's always colored in green. I don't understand why they would do a tribute video for Dwight Howard. But knowing Howard, he might have had that written into his contract. Who knows?
If you trade me, you must give me a tribute video. I mean, he is from Atlanta, so maybe that's why.
I'm going on YouTube to look for that video because it had to be hilarious. There's only like, how many games did he play last year?
I don't know, like 60-something. He didn't even play a full 82.
There's only 67 games worth of highlights. Oh, what a train wreck that franchise is.
Tell me about it. And at the end of the day, they didn't even make the playoffs or even get remotely close. Like, why even? Anyways, I digress. Did you ever think?
Great. I mean, I can see Orlando doing it and then retiring. I don't know, retiring. Yeah, I would retire his number. Orlando hasn't gotten to the finals too many times in franchise history.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense than the Hawks. Yeah, it's one of the strangest things I've seen an arena do for a player.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
it
is.
Right about that. That is really funny. I didn't even know. I mean, that's how much nobody pays attention to Atlanta.
That's terrible.
No, I feel bad. I mean, and you know what the thing is? Tomorrow night is the type of game, or tonight is the type of game where you might get trapped because you're just coming off a really, really encouraging win against the Knicks. You know, Rozier, I mean, you had your video segment on it after the game Wednesday night. Rozier was out of his mind, and they blew the Knicks out of the water. So, you know, this is the type of trap game that if Kyrie's not playing in particular, they could get stuck. So, you know, as we're laughing about it, you never know.
Yeah, well, the run for the bottom is getting more interesting by the month. You know what I mean? Like, you have the Brooklyn Nets now. All of a sudden, they look like they're going to grab like the 7th, 8th, or 9th pick. Where the Cleveland Cavaliers were probably thinking that was going to be a top 5 pick. And if you're a Celtics fan, the Lakers, I mean, they're not too far away from the Brooklyn Nets right now. Right now, it's looking like the Hawks, Orlando, the Mavericks, the Kings, the Suns, the Bulls, all those teams have a worse record than the Nets and the Lakers. So it looks like that Celtics pick may turn into a 2019 Sixers pick. So we'll have to wait and see, of course. Still plenty of games to lose, though.
That's the problem. I think the Lakers cannot land in the first seed. It goes to the Philadelphia. That's the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah, because they're getting better. They're on the up and up.
2 through 5, it's the Celtics, and then 5 beyond, it's Sacramento, and the Celtics get their 19th pick, right?
Right. But those Nets picks, I mean, they were as generous as you're gonna. You know, Celtics squeezed them out for everything that they were worth. Let's not get too selfish here. Come on, Celtics fans.
Danny Ainge again looks like a genius. I mean, basically, he's getting Kyrie Irving for an injured Isaiah Thomas, right? You know, who else was in that deal even? Jake Crowder.
Who's not the same.
And a number 5 pick that could end up being the equivalent of Marcus Smart. I think he was a number 5 pick.
6.
So, I mean, really he comes off, and the Celtics are exceeding all expectations after what looked like the worst thing possible scenario, which was what happened with Gordon Hayward. I mean, why do you ask me on these pregame reports? You know, you ask me on, and we're supposed to talk about the game, and I ended up going off on tangents. Like, I don't even know where we are right now, Josue. Reel me in.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're like 15 minutes in. I mean, I would just bring up the fact that, you know, the Hawks, trying to keep it related to the Hawks, how the Hawks are the worst team in the NBA, where the Brooklyn Nets are nowhere near that. I was just trying to make a correlation between the Brooklyn pick, and you went a whole nother route. But, hey, who wins tonight?
Danny Ainge looks like a genius again. Right? I can talk about that all day.
How about that? Who wins tonight? Is it even worth bringing up?
Yeah, the Celtics win this. I think it's going to be closer than it was versus the Knicks. But ultimately, and I don't know if you noticed, it was a very tense locker room pregame on Wednesday.
I did notice that.
But it was a very loose and light and really great locker room to be in after that win. Post game, I think everybody was just so happy for Terry Rozier. So I like the attitude and the body language and the demeanor we're seeing from the players. So I think they'll win tonight, but I think it's not going to be a blowout like it was versus New York. Now I have a question for you. Where has Gino been? Do we still play the Gino video on the Jumbotron?
I think the new thing is, Nick, and they did it after the Knicks game. They do it after the final buzzer goes off, which I'm not crazy about.
Why are they doing that? Half the fans are gone. We're already in the elevator.
Yeah, they switching it up
during Gino time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this new generation, it's sort of it's gonna go. I think it's gonna stay with the old big three, or the new big three, I should say.
You know what? Here's the thing too. I mean, I think that it was a big wake up call last season when I forget if it was Toscano, it was somebody who asked Evan Turner what he thought of Gino. And Evan Turner goes, "Who's Gino?"
Yeah.
So I don't even know if these players know the story of it, but what a great story. Anyway.
Well, those Evan Turner teams, there wasn't a lot of blowouts, Nick. There wasn't a whole lot of blowouts, so that's probably why. Well, you know, with that, we'll get you up out of here. He is Nick Gelso. Give him a follow on Twitter at CLNS_Nick. And, of course, if you haven't already, I don't know what you're waiting for, give CLNS a follow, you know, at CLNS Media. And you know what? Also, check him out, of course, on the Garden Report. Friday night, he'll be on the parquet. And you can also check out all of the post-game reaction from the players and coaches on the CLNS Media YouTube channel, which, of course, you can also see myself, Nick, and plenty of others. So you make sure you guys check all that out as we approach into, the 20th minute. Jeez, Nick, could you stretch these out even longer?
What you do here? Well, you
longest pregame report ever.
To get me off going. You asked me all the questions, bro. You started with LeBron, into Marcus Smart. I mean, you expect to go 5-7 minutes? Come on.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Thanks for having me, dude. Thanks. It's always your dad. Come on. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you tonight.